You watched the Coach K retirement ceremony. I full disclosure, I really liked Duke growing up. Like I remember third grade, my basketball team was the Blue Devils, and we wore like Duke stuff. Duke is hated by a lot of people, which is part of what makes them great has made them great under Coach K for college basketball. I mean, they were a polarizing brand for basically, I mean, he was there for 40. I'd say they were polarizing for 30, right?
Is that because of the players they've had, do you think?
I think Leitner, people hated Leitner, and Bobby Hurley maybe too, but people, I think, really hated Leitner.
Yeah.
He was like a villain of college basketball.
Remember they used to
Wojo's teams weren't even that good, I don't think.
I know, but I think when they hit the thing that bothered everybody.
Maybe, but I think Leitner is really what it goes to. And Duke Carolina was just, you picked a side. Like you picked a side. Duke Carolina, pick a side. Red Sox, Yankees, pick a side, right?
Red Sox.
I go back and forth. But yeah, man, his goodbye was incredible. Telling everybody to shut the hell up. I thought his players I thought they tightened up in that game. The pressure was on them to send out Coach K, and they did not handle it well.
Well, they got blown out down the last 5 minutes.
But it was a close game, right?
It was a close game, but then they got throttled down the stretch. It was a tough situation for him to come out 5 minutes after getting pounded by North Carolina. I mean, guy, that last couple minutes, they were getting clowned. Dunks, wide open layups. It was like, oh, are they really going to go out like this? Because it wasn't like, well, at least Duke got a last-second shot. It was, by the end of the game, you're like, oh, it's an 8-point game with 2 minutes left. And then it was like, are they going to lose by 20? And he came out, you could see it in his face. He was seething. He was so mad. I'm like, I don't know. At the end of the day, guy, he's a coach. And his team just got punked by their rival. So part of it was he knows he had to do this. You could see it on his face. Like, I don't even know if I could fake it. And he couldn't. And that's why I think he had to get it off his chest. He had to say, he's like, I can't fake sitting here where everyone basically gives me a standing reach around here for the next 30 minutes in front of all my former players. And that, I think he got that off his chest. And as it went down, he relaxed a little bit. And he eventually, when he gave his own team props, it's like, okay, he's come down.
I know they don't. He's like, I know they don't feel it right now, but I love them.
And when he dropped, like, hey guys, look how good we have it. Like, look how special this whole thing is.
That was cool.
And I thought the ring thing was really pretty cool.
Yeah.
How she changed the stone in the Army ring so it's still the Army ring, but it has the blue ring with his
He's a good speaker.
That was sweet.
He's a good speaker. I did feel you and I both texted each other when it happened. Like, we got a great succession plan, and they cut to John Shire, and it's like, oh my God, this guy is about to have the weight of the world on his shoulders. Because every guy, the text thread with Trajan Langdon and Jay Williams and Shane Battier and Carlos Boozer and on and on and on and on and on. Danny Ferry.
You think that video that Portnoy retweeted on the coach do you think Coach K today lit up that assistant coach? Like, we don't do that here. Because he did big time.
What was that about? Was there a story about what that was about? It was Gottlieb was the one that tweeted it initially.
I was just mad. I don't know. I mean, they just got punked.
Hubert Davis. Did Hubert play at Duke or at Carolina? He played at Carolina.
Yeah, okay. Carolina.
Maybe just the hate runs deep.
Well, I saw Dan Wetzel tweeted this, and everyone freaked out. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, would this be the biggest regular season win in North Carolina history?
Is that who it was?
It might be.
No.
Yeah.
Nolan's the one I recognize, but I don't know. I didn't watch the video close enough.
Does it get any better than a regular season win, beating your rival, one of the greatest coach arguably in the modern day history, in his last game ever at their home and kind of kicking their ass in front of 96 of his former players?
Sorry, did you say while Duke is a top 5 team?
While Duke's a top 5 team? That's as good of a regular season win as you could ever have.
If you're a Carolina fan, that is just – did you see that video that went viral the other day? He's like, it was this guy, like a TikTok. The guy's like anger is so much better than joy. He's like, I've got a teacher. The only reason I went to college is because I had a teacher sophomore year that told me I couldn't do it in high school. And I went to college on anger. Like, anger, that survives. It was a joke, but it was funny. But if you're a Carolina fan, I would imagine in a good rivalry, seeing someone else fail is just as good as your own success. So when you get to merge the two, their failure is our success. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, that one had to taste pretty sweet. And to your point, it's in front of all these other people. It's like Ken Jeong and Jerry Seinfeld, and I mean,
But it's a double FU. But even like Grant Hill, Leitner, Jay Williams, Elton Brand, like all their core guys that have kicked your ass a time or two over, it's like a middle finger to them.
Yeah, well, I did think if you're those guys, how mad those former players must be at the current players.
Well,
you guys didn't everything we built here. You let them go out like that.
Well, there was the video caught them. I think they went down 8. It was probably like 2.5 minutes left, and they go to Jay Williams, and he's doing that like call timeout, and he just kept letting them play. Then they ended up missing the 3, and then it went to 10. It's like, oh my god. Did you think there was going to be some miraculous comeback? You're like, oh, they can't go out like this.
I don't know. I was not feeling good watching them. Like, I didn't feel like they had it in them. And I've watched a lot of Duke Carolina over the years. Like, I love Duke. I can't express enough. Like, I used to love Duke. I used to watch Duke all the time. And it just
they played 3 times a week on ESPN.
They're always on national TV. I mean, it's.
What do you think of the programming? They couldn't go to the game right away because Texas-Kansas went to overtime. So part of it was like, there was a huge intro. I mean, they had hyped up this game all week long. And then as they're getting close to like switching the game, Texas-Kansas is going late. And then it goes into OT. So they had, I don't know, I didn't watch the beginning of the game. I didn't even know what channel, but ESPN fucked up because they weren't ready to do a switch because they couldn't.
Gotcha. Honestly, I didn't know. I saw the beginning of the game, but I just had Texas on like mute. I was kind of just waiting for the game. And then by the time I got there, I saw the game was starting. So I didn't catch that until I saw some people tweeting about it.
Because part of it
on
in
like
intro
ACC Network or something.
Well, because in intros they had all the former players line up like a tunnel.
Well, I saw the clip. He bows. I'm like, in my mind, until I saw it on Twitter, I was like, I guess I saw everything. I didn't quite realize that I'd missed it. Honestly,
a lot of the big
happens
J's
all the time in college basketball. Be like 2:00 game, 4:00 game. It's like, guys, this is gonna run into each other. Like it's gonna happen. Yeah. It almost always happens.
Someone's like, you cannot not go to Duke for a 10-loss Texas team. There was a lot of that on like social media.
Which what? I never understand this. I've said this for a few years now. I never quite get why they don't do it. Like, guys, people are here for the next game. Just tell the people watching the current. But they maybe they got some research. Like we are not, or maybe it's just bad business. Like we are not going to let people watch. Basically a whole game and then rip it away from them with a minute left. Like, good luck. There's a fast break. Hope you can find ACC Network in the next 8 seconds. So I get it.
And you might not have the option. It's not like, well, we'll put you on ESPNU. You might have something else on there.